When a top Trump pick dodges basic yes or no questions about following the law, it's not confusion. It's a blaring siren for democracy. Adam Schiff just tore the mask off completely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to follow up on Senator Kennedy's line of question and ask a similar line of yes or no questions just to put a finer point and make sure that your answers are as definitive as they sounded. So let me start with you, Mr. Edlow. Yes or no, would you ever advise the administration that it could ignore or disregard an applicable district court order because you believe the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn it?
Senator, as I said before,
yes, just a yes or no question.
I don't believe I'll ever be
Senator,
in that position.
But you may not. But just like you answered Senator Kennedy, I want to make sure that you were not misleading anyone. So let me ask the question again. Would you ever advise the administration that it could disregard an applicable district court opinion or order because you believe the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn it? Yes or no?
I don't want to speculate, but I can't see a situation where I would advise to not follow a court order.
So your answer is no, you would never advise them to disregard a district court order, even if you thought the Supreme Court
Again,
would
I don't want to speak in speculation.
I just want you to be precise and answer yes or no.
I can't see a time where I would do that. No.
Okay. Mr. Geiser, yes or no?
Thank you very much, Senator Schiff. I would advise clients to follow court orders.
Even if you believe the Supreme Court would ultimately overturn the district court?
Well, Senator, as far as...
Yes or no?
The answer is the same. The President has said he will follow court orders.
The same answer, yes or no?
Senator, the President has said he will follow...
You were able to answer Senator Kennedy, but I want to make sure that you were not misleading Senator Kennedy. Yes or no, would you ever advise the administration it could ignore a district court order because you believed the Supreme Court would ultimately rule otherwise? Yes or no, would you ever advise them that?
Senator, applicable court orders should be followed.
That's not my question. Yes or no?
Senator, you asked me...
Yes or no, Mr. Geiser? It's a simple question.
Senator?
Mr. Geiser, you were able to answer Senator Kennedy. Are you raising a doubt now about your answers to Senator Kennedy because you can't answer this question?
Senator, I would advise clients to follow applicable court orders.
Is that a yes or no?
I would advise clients to follow applicable...
Is that a yes or no? Let me repeat the question so there's no ambiguity about it. Would you ever advise the administration, you're going to be, if you're confirmed heading the Office of Legal Counsel that helps determine whether actions are lawless or lawful, would you ever advise the administration that it could ignore an applicable district court opinion or order because you believed the Supreme Court would ultimately overturn the order? Yes or no?
Senator, if I'm confirmed to lead the Office of Legal Counsel,
all right.
I would...
You're not answering the question. So I guess the answer is to Senator Kennedy, you just might advise the administration to ignore a district court order. How about you, counsel?
Thank you, Senator Schiff. In my role as director, I am not...
Just asking yes or no.
Well, I would, thank you. I wish to clarify, I'm not, if confirmed, a director, I'm not acting in a legal capacity at all. I'm part of the executive agency branch and therefore would not be advising clients on any aspects of that.
Well, would it be appropriate in your view for anyone else among legal counsel to do so?
In general, court orders should be followed and respected. There are situations which I recall back from law school between branches.
I guess you're not able to answer the question either. Counsel, how about you?
Senator Schiff, thank you. I mean, I agree. I don't believe it's appropriate to address this hypothetical. At the Department of Justice...
Okay, so you want to revise your answer to Senator Kennedy then? That is, there may be circumstances where you advise the administration to disregard a district court of opinion because you believe the Supreme Court might rule otherwise. Is that your opinion?
As a lawyer, the answer is it depends.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll make sure Senator Kennedy is aware that you just might, it depends, advise the administration to ignore court orders.
Senator,
let me ask another question. Mr. Geiser, would you agree that it would be unlawful for the President to accept a gift from a foreign state without the consent of Congress? Would you agree that's unlawful?
Well, thank you for that question, Senator.
Yes or no?
Whether something is lawful or not, I would always want to look...
I'm just asking you a simple question. Is it unlawful for the President to accept a gift from a foreign state without the consent of Congress? Very simple question.
Senator, as a lawyer, I would always give my...
I'm not asking you for a preamble, just yes or no.
Well, Senator Schiff, it depends on the fact...
Well, Mr. Geiser, where is the depends on the facts of Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, which says, no person holding any office shall, without consent of Congress, accept any present from any foreign state. That's the Constitution. Doesn't say, well, it depends, or it might, or maybe. It says, no person shall do so. Do you find that ambiguous?
Senator...
I thought you were supposed to be the strict constructionists. This is what the Constitution says. Is there an exception for $400 million planes from Gulf emirs?
Senator...
Is there an exception for that?
On behalf of the chair, Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do wonder, though, that whether or not we...
What you just witnessed wasn't a normal Senate hearing. It was a live stress test for the rule of law in America, and the result should shake every citizen who cares about democracy. The nominees handpicked by Donald Trump for some of the most powerful legal positions in the nation couldn't answer the simplest, most fundamental question: will you obey a court order? Representative Adam Schiff didn't come to grandstand. He came to expose a mindset. A mindset that places loyalty to one man above loyalty to the Constitution. His approach was surgical. Strip away the talking points, remove the political fog, and ask a yes or no question that any honest lawyer should answer without hesitation. Will you follow a federal court order? That's not a trick question. It's the baseline for anyone claiming to defend the Constitution. But instead of clear, confident answers, these nominees stumbled, hesitated, and hid behind jargon. Their dodging wasn't confusion, it was calculation, because telling the truth out loud would have revealed just how far some are willing to go to let a future Trump presidency operate above the law. Schiff pressed forward, cutting through the rehearsed lines and exposing a deeper truth. If someone cannot say plainly that court orders must be followed, they are signaling something far more dangerous: a willingness to let presidential power eclipse judicial authority. And that's not just bad lawyering. That's a direct threat to constitutional government. He reminded everyone what the Office of Legal Counsel, OLC, is supposed to be: not a political shield for the White House, but the legal conscience of the executive branch. The place where lawyers tell presidents not what they want to hear, but what the law allows and forbids. Yet these nominees seem to suggest the opposite, that their job would be to justify presidential actions, even when those actions brush up against illegality. Then came Schiff's second line of questioning, and it was even more revealing. He asked whether a president can accept gifts from foreign states without the consent of Congress. That's not a gray area. It's written word for word in the Constitution's Emoluments Clause, Article 1, Section 9. The nominee's answer should have been immediate and clear. Instead, he hedged again. Schiff wasn't having it. He quoted the Constitution directly, reminding the room and the nation that this clause exists precisely to prevent corruption and foreign influence. The refusal to answer underscored what's really happening. Trump's allies are seeking lawyers who will defend power, not principle. Schiff's questioning revealed a dangerous shift in legal culture: advisors willing to bend, twist, or ignore the clearest constitutional limits whenever it benefits their president. That's not legal interpretation. That's legal obedience to authority. And it's the kind of behavior that slowly erodes democracies from within. This moment matters, because when the next administration's lawyers cannot commit to following court orders, every constitutional right, from due process to free speech, becomes vulnerable to political whims. What Schiff showed wasn't just a failed hearing. It was a warning flare for the future of American democracy. So, for viewers of Carter TYT, take this as your reminder. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay engaged, because the people who interpret the law today will decide what rights survive tomorrow. If you believe in democratic guardrails, share this, subscribe, and keep amplifying conversations that defend the Constitution before silence becomes compliance.